Ooh, it's story time. As today I'm gonna tell you guys a story about me and Pokemon Go in terms of the longest amount of time I've actually played Pokemon Go for non-stop for a day or more than a day to actually just basically play Pokemon Go. Alright, so hi to all of you guys. So yes, I'm going to tell you guys a true story that actually happened to me back in the year 2017, and it happened during the month of July when Pokemon Go Fest 2017 first happened, and it was actually on the 22nd of July. That was the first day of Pokemon Go Fest, where I actually made my way to Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago in Illinois in America. So it was during that point of time that I actually was super duper crazy, super duper hyped for Pokemon Go. There were days that I would actually play Pokemon Go for like 18 hours, 20 hours straight. But I must say the playtime in Chicago actually broke all records that I actually set before that. And normally I do not play Pokemon Go for more than 20 hours a day because it's just too tiring, especially the next day. I normally just consistently play and continue with my grind or whatsoever. So on average, I will usually play like 14 to 16 hours a day. For 20 hours or even more than 20 hours is just absurd. But for this particular day, it went beyond that 20 hours and it was just insane. So anyway, like I said, this story happened back in the year 2017 at Pokemon Go Fest 2017. So what happened was basically on the 22nd of July, that was on the first day of Pokemon Go Fest. Basically, I started off my day at around 8 a.m. in the morning. I woke up really early. I was super duper excited for the Pokemon Go event because it was the biggest event I was attending. All of us were attending and we were all really excited for it. For those of you who did not know the story about me going for Pokemon Go Fest, I'm going to do a quick summary about it. One day before the Pokemon Go Fest actually commenced, I actually decided 7 hours before my flight from Singapore all the way to America that I actually wanted to go for the Go Fest. I did not book any tickets. I did not buy the Go Fest ticket at all. Eventually, my friend Reverso had to give it to me, and I would like to thank him for that. So for the flights wise, yep, I booked it 7 hours before the actual flight. If I didn't catch that flight on that day from Singapore to Chicago, I wouldn't have been able to make it for the event at all. So after I arrived in America, in Chicago, I actually also rented a car so that I could actually drive around to play Pokemon Go. And in fact, also for me to head from the airport all the way to the city center to actually, head towards the event site. So other than that though, I managed to meet up with a lot of the other players before the actual Pokemon Go Fest event started. So it was on the next day, the 22nd of July, in the morning at 8 a.m. I woke up really early. I believe the event started at 10 a.m. or like 11 a.m. But I basically turned on my game at 8 a.m. wanted to see what's the situation like in terms of the lures and whatsoever. So I remember at that point of time, raids were already available for tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. There were no legendary raids, and it was like kind of predicted that a legendary Pokemon would be released in the Go Fest itself for us to raid at the event site itself. So eventually, alright, I went on to the event site in the morning, played the entire day, meeting up with people, experiencing the network issue, because if you guys remember, for those of you who were there at the event itself, 2017 was the year that we kind of couldn't play the game at all because when we log in, we would just get hung at the loading screen and we can't even enter the game at all. It was really frustrating, but that's another story for another time, or maybe that story was already told. But basically, after the event ended, we actually created our own after event. So what I mean by that was because after the event ended, I believe was at 6 p.m. the actual event at Go Fest itself ended, the legendary raids started to spawn in the gyms. So the gym started to have like Articuno and Lugia, and Niantic announced that within 2-mile radius of the event site itself, every legendary will be 100% catch rate. The circle was green in color. It was 100% catch rate. You have the equal number of balls that you actually get from raiding a legendary raid boss, not like having 99 premier balls or whatsoever. But basically everybody were hyped for the legendary Pokemon like Articuno and Lugia. Those two were the ones that were happening in raids at that point of time, and everybody were going crazy for it. So of course I myself also went crazy with it. I actually gathered my friends to actually do the raids together. Eventually it went all the way to, I believe, around 9:30 or 10 p.m. That was the last raid possible, but we were still super duper hype. Our adrenaline were all rushing. We met up and then eventually I attended a party also. We were still just talking and playing Pokemon Go, doing evolutions and whatsoever. I believe at that point of time trades were not available, so hence I was just evolving over there, because I think double XP started also. So eventually I just continued evolving. At that point of time it's just crazy for XP. So eventually, when we were about to call it a night at around 4 or 5 a.m., suddenly we saw a tier 5 egg pop up in the gym. We were like, wait, how does this thing work? Because that was the first time we were experiencing legendary raids. We thought maybe it was going to last for only 2 or 3 hours after the event, as in after the Pokemon Go Fest event. Eventually, it became a daily thing that the Articuno and Lugia, in fact the legendary Pokemon, would spawn the eggs at 5 a.m. and hatches at 6 a.m. So when we saw the egg at 5 a.m. we were like, oh my, let's start raiding. We didn't even feel tired anymore. So eventually I told some of those guys, hey, let's hop in the car, because I told you guys I was driving, right? I rented the car over there. And my friends, some of them, they also drove. So eventually we went on a raid train. We went on to do raids. We went to raid Articuno and Lugia. Not just for 1 or 2 hours, guys. We actually raided all the way to like lunchtime. Beyond lunchtime. Lunchtime is usually 12 or 1 p.m. But I raided until 2 p.m. So essentially I was driving. I was super duper tired, hungry at the same time. But looking at the legendary, raids, I was so excited to the extent, if I remember correctly, so around 10 or 11 a.m., I was able to get myself a 100% Articuno with a 100% catch rate. So that was a very, very satisfying feeling at that point of time, because I was like, oh my god, first legendary, first hundo, and that was it. So eventually it went on to like around 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So mind you, I have not slept for 24 hours yet, because I woke up 8 a.m. to play Pokemon Go the day before, right? And then eventually I went back to my hotel at around 3 p.m. Wash up and clean up everything, did my checks and everything on my storage, do the admin stuff and whatsoever, and I finally went to bed at 4 p.m. Yep, so that was a total of 30 hours of gameplay, non-stop, like literally non-stop. I don't remember taking any break for a long period of time, like even taking a more than 10 minutes break or 5 minutes break. I would just be constantly playing the game, because there were so many things to do other than the fact that we couldn't play the game at the Go Fest itself. Of course I will be playing it if the network weren't that crappy, okay? And the fact that after I slept at 4 p.m., guess what time I woke up? Yep, I woke up 2.5 hours later at 6:30 p.m. And then I on the game. I'm like, oh my god, the raids are still available. Immediately I messaged my friends who wanted to still raid. Some of them, they went back earlier than me. Like they went back in the morning, and then they already woke up and they were already raiding already. So I told them, hey, I'm gonna meet you guys. So eventually I drove out and I went to meet them again to continue the raids again. And that went on to the night again, and it was super duper exhausting. I couldn't believe I did that, but that was crazy. That was pretty much the craziest and longest time that I've ever played Pokemon Go for non-stop, 30 hours straight. Yeah, you guys can let me know in the comment section down below whether you guys have played for more than a certain number of hours, 20 hours or what. What's the longest number of hours you guys have ever played Pokemon Go for? Because personally 30 hours is just insane. I will never do it again. And so far I think in the last 2 or 3 years, the longest that I've ever played Pokemon Go for like continuously non-stop is probably 16 to 18 hours again. That was, like I said, pretty common to me back in the year 2016, 2017 and 2018. But right now I kind of slowed down in terms of like going crazy for the game. Especially even if I were to attend a Pokemon Go Fest, I doubt I'll be playing more than 20 hours, because I'll be super duper exhausted by the event after that. And the adrenaline in me may not be as high as before, as back in 2017 when we see our very first legendary Pokemon. I mean, I didn't get that, I guess, get that adrenaline rush when I saw the first Ultra Beast Nihilego during this year's Go Fest. So that's kind of different. Alright, so this is just a short story of me telling you guys about me and my experience with Pokemon Go in terms of the longest period of time I've ever played Pokemon Go for without stopping. It's just insane, but like I always say, the grind never ends, but the grind had to end that day because I was just super duper exhausted. The thing about playing Pokemon Go versus playing other games though is the fact that Pokemon Go requires you to go out in the open, in the public, physically. Alright, so it's actually very, very mentally exhausting, very physically exhausting, and you know, meeting people along the way, you also get tired quickly as compared to playing an online game at home, just sitting on your couch or just sitting in front of your desk. Basically to play that kind of game, which I used to play. I used to play online PC games, and it requires less energy. In fact, the longest that I played the PC game for was, I believe, 33 hours or 38 hours non-stop. So, but to go out and play Pokemon Go for, I think, 38 hours is just mind-boggling already. Alright, in fact, for 24 hours, it's already very, very mind-boggling to actually go out there playing Pokemon Go non-stop, because it's just so physically demanding at times also. And in fact, the weather also can be quite brutal also at times, especially if it's snowing or it's raining or whatsoever. Alright, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video of me sharing my experience, my story in terms of playing Pokemon Go in a pretty crazy manner, or a very crazy manner. Like I said, you guys can let me know in the comment section down below the stories that you guys have for yourselves. Also, how long have you guys played Pokemon Go for the longest, non-stop, in a day or in 2 days or whatsoever. I mean, I've heard story of people playing Pokemon Go for 40 over hours non-stop, which was pretty crazy. But that's something I definitely will not do, and I don't think I have the stamina and mental energy to do that also. Yep. Alright, so if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like on the video. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys in the next episode in the next video. Alright. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.